Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's nearly Christmas Day. It's nearly Boxing Day. That's the more exciting thing, I think, in a way, for us fans to get back down the King Power Stadium. It's obviously Leicester v Newcastle, 3 o'clock on Boxing Day. We're here with Gary, a Newcastle fan. We've got Reedy as well. So we're going to just pick brains. Obviously, let's start with you, Reedy, first of all, from Leicester's point of view. You were at MK Dons the other night. A decent little run out. Should have prepped us up for Monday's big return to the Premier League.
Well, we're always going to say what team was going to get put out against MK Dons, and we went pretty strong. So maybe we were going to get a bit of momentum into the team, ready for the Newcastle game on the Boxing Day. But again, it depends who starts, really. Obviously, Maddison didn't even get into the team. Obviously, he's still in Dubai. So does he get back into the lineup against Newcastle, or will he even be back? And then the likes of Sumari, who played well. Luke Thomas played well. So I couldn't really predict the lineup against Newcastle, but I would say it'd probably be close to what we played against MK Dons.
Gary, obviously you're a massive Newcastle fan. You beat Bournemouth.
Just.
Yeah. But coming back into the Premier League so far this season for you two fans must be really delighted with where it's going.
Yeah. Short squad. So we've got some great first team players, but then some of the players as well that are kind of fringe players. Willock, Murphy, still like to see them upgraded at some point. But then, so Willock's a classic example of that. It's been very hit and miss. But the last 6-7 games or so, leading up to the break, he hit form. He's been great. That's a problem with him. You don't know which one you're going to get when he turns up, So, but yeah, delighted. But by the end of it, Chelsea, we got the win, but we looked exhausted. We're ready for the break, with such a small squad.
Yeah, is that going to be potentially? I mean, the World Cup might suit teams like Leicester and Newcastle in the fact that most of the squad has had a quite relaxing 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So should come back refreshed on Boxing Day.
Yeah, and the Bournemouth team reflected that, getting the run up. We played, didn't get the goals again. We struggled. Bournemouth sat back. We had over 60% possession, I think, and we struggled with that. But he did play pretty much first team, which we'll be playing. It's a bit too early. We've still got Isaac not coming back. I think he'll make a massive difference when he's back. But it's just, I think the Leicester game too soon for.
Again, really, the old Daka Vardy sort of debate that we've been having this week. It looks like Jamie Vardy may well get the nod on Monday.
I don't think so. I think it'll be Daka again. I think that Vardy's there for the cups and the away games or even the home games, but it'll be a switch around. So obviously, because Vardy played against him in the cup, I think it'll be Daka on Monday. So, and I think that's right. I think now we've got to be giving more trust in someone like Daka to come into the Premier League sides, and then I'll let Vardy have the run of the green in the easier games, I guess, and get easier goals. So for me, Daka comes straight into that lineup on Monday.
Gary, which Newcastle players should we maybe be looking out for from Leicester's point of view, who might cause us some damage, or some of the players that we won't perhaps necessarily think of, who's been a bit of a standout for you?
It's hard not to mention Almiron these days. I think once he's got Trippier behind him, he's been brilliant. Some of his goals are just the amount and the quality of them. He's been class. Bruno started off well, dropped off, but our defence is really strong at the minute. Botman and Shaw have done a brilliant job in the middle there. Burns dropped over to left back. Our defence is strong. So, yeah, it's tough. Our central midfield, basically, but the Almiron's the one to look out for at the minute, I think.
Is there anybody from the Leicester side? I mean, we've talked about Maddison. Obviously, there's been a bit of a connection there with Newcastle making that. They actually did make a bid in the summer, £50 million. Yeah. I guess the question is, would you like to see Maddison at Newcastle?
Oh, definitely. I'm kind of glad you said there's a question mark if he's playing, because I don't want him playing 2-1 and putting himself in the window for us to buy him. But I would love to see Maddison. I think we need him. We need a right-sided midfielder. But as I said, we're always looking to upgrade on the likes of Murphy, Willock. Shelby's days must be nearly gone. But I think it's going to be a battle of the two midfields. I think the game's going to be won or lost in the midfield.
What we're talking about, Maddison, interesting to know what everybody back watching thinks is Reedy. We were just chatting before we came on about Maddison. I think Man United started in their Carabao Cup game with 5 players who've been to the World Cup. I know Newcastle had players, and lots of teams had players who've been at the World Cup. Leicester did. Tielemans has been World Cup, Martin's been World Cup. where was Maddison?
I just don't have a clue because he's one of the only players from us that didn't play a game in the World Cup. He's been sitting on the bench the last 6 weeks or a bit less than that, and now he's still not come back to the training ground. I think, like you even said, if he has got an injury on himself, why isn't he back at the training ground sorting it out instead of being in Dubai having fun? I don't know.
I mean, none of us really know what all the ins and outs are, but Gary, I guess we can move on to a bit of a score prediction. It's one of those strange ones. I think Boxing Day this year could see some really strange results because of the World Cup. So, focusing on the Newcastle coming to Leicester, where do you think the score could go?
This is a tricky one because this is, as you've just said, this is completely unheard of. It's like restarting the season again in December. This has never happened before. And the way they shoehorned that many games in the beginning was crazy, absolutely ridiculous. The way we played, I think there'll be one goal in it either way. So I'm going to go 1-0 to us. I'm going to have to.
You fancy it? Yeah, of course we're going to expect you're going to go for a Newcastle win. Reedy, again, from a Leicester's point of view, we've had 2 seasons already in our half season, in the fact that we've had 7 or 8 games of Leicester looking woeful and real relegation and the Rodgers out brigade and all that. And then the second half of that first part, we've been on fire. We've probably been one of the form teams. So I guess the question is, which Leicester side do you think is going to come back after this break?
Well, from what we've seen at the MK Dons game, as much as it was more like a pre-season game for us, it still showed that we still defensively solid. We didn't really let much go. They didn't even get a shot on target. And the team we put out made it look like we wanted to get a bit of momentum going into this game. So for me, I would like to see us going for it, but I think I'd take a draw. I'll take a draw on Monday. I think that's easily a good enough result for us going into the games we've got coming in the next few months as well.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it is going to be an interesting one. Make sure we'll see you down outside the ground before kick-off and after the game, obviously on Monday. Come and see us and give us your views after the game, in particular outside the Blues Bar or whatever it's called now, Fox and Saw. We want to know what you think there. It's going to be an interesting one to see which Leicester side comes up, because this second part of the season, again, for Leicester, could, we could go on and maybe challenge for certainly one of the cups and maybe a European spot. Still, that could happen. Let's hope there's none of this relegation chat anymore. So, from me, Phil, from Gary, from Reedy, we'll see you down at the match on Monday.